So as not-for-profits, and when I think about human-centered workplace, is really making that purpose tangible, show employees how their work connects, engage them, go through your impact reports with them and draw those lines to how it's connecting to their work. Have them involved, just like corporations have impact days. There are opportunities for not-for-profits, for people who don't typically engage with your clients and people that you're serving. Help them see what that is. Bringing people together, having short, quick huddles on what have you learned, introducing simple forms, shared documents, and also sharing the challenges, not just the positives, the time saved, etc. But what issues did you run into? How did you handle um, uh, verifying data, going back to source and being comfortable that data is actually accurate, and iterate and tell employees, you said X, and so we tried Y. Be really clear about how their input is being considered. And then just this notion of peer learning. One organization calls them senseis. If you're into martial arts, you'd be familiar with that term. And they're people you can go to for help. You can, as you're learning how to use AI. And what I would say there is make sure you recognize and reward people who are doing that. The goal is really AI fluency, not technical expertise. And of course, with Gen AI, one of the things is that it's because it's conversational and everyone has access to it, whether you give it to them or not. I mean, anyone can, sign up for free for many of the tools that are out there. That the goal really is how to use it well, how to use it responsibly, how to understand the ethical implications and what actions can be taken. So it's really about this culture of continuous learning, of normalizing the learning and the mistakes and the things that through trial and error that you've learned, and this encouragement of experimentation, including leaders talking about how they're using it. 70% of the success is change management, clarifying roles and accountability, communicating, involving staff, addressing the difficult issues and the tensions. What's this going to do to my job? Am I just accelerating my job redundancy? What are you going to do to help me build new skills? Over-reliance on AI can reduce engagement and fulfillment. Somebody had a question earlier saying, I feel lazy when I use AI. I shared my example of preparing for this session where I didn't really feel lazy because I was putting more into it, in making sense of it and bringing it together, in exploring new things that I could be talking about. The final one is around human skills, which are the enduring edge in the age of AI. There are lists everywhere, but certainly things like empathy, adaptability, creativity, judgment, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. One of the things that someone said that, with Gen AI, I don't have to be a good communicator. I would argue that you have to be a really good communicator, because you need to ask great questions, you need to think critically, you need to then package it in a way that is going to align with your audience, a functional collaboration, judgment and ethics, resilience.